Dear Amazulu, ngiyabathanda Amazulu, ngiyabathanda abantu basekhaya. This short documentary was made for education, and let's get to it. The Zulu people celebrate an annual event that was established in 1984 called Umhlanga or Reed Days. This event took place at the royal capital near Nongoma. This traditional ceremony is performed by the young women from the old parts of the kingdom to perform in front of the monarch and his guests. The purpose of these events is to promote the pride of leader in that centuries of 19th merging into the great kingdom under the leadership of Shaka. The death of his father Senzangakona, Shaka accepted the leadership of the Zulu clan, who at that time only considered 1,500 people under his reign. From 1816 until 1828, an army MP of 50,000 emerged and defeated other clans. Shaka created many military tactics to defeat the enemy. He created the threat to his clan. After the death of his mother, Nandi, he lost his mind. In the period of grief, Shaka had hundreds of Zulu killed. How did Shaka die? A lethal chief in his half-brother, Dingani, and Umhlanga assassinated him. Dingani, Shaka's half-brother, took a reign over the clan after the assassination of Shaka. Now, let's go to the Zulu traditional clothing. But before you go to the Zulu traditional clothing, let's dig deeper into Zulu people. Zulu people, or you call them Amazulu, these are Nguni ethnic groups in southern Africa. The Zulu people are the largest ethnic groups in the nation of South Africa, currently estimated between 11 to 13 million people living mainly in the province of KwaZulu-Natal. This is because there was a Bantu migration over the millennium, but Zulu take a pride in the ceremony such as Umhlanga, or you can call it reed dance, in the various forms of the beadwork. The art and skill of the beadworks take part in the identification of the Zulu people at the form of the communication. The men, the women, Christianity with the African Christianity, but they have an African original, a major clan, what is North KwaZulu-Natal, founded in ca 1709 by Zulu Kamalandela. In Nguni language, isiZulu means heaven or sky. At that time, the area was occupied by the Meneleji community of Nguni, also called Isizwe, people or nation, or were called Isibongo, referring to their clan or family name. Nguni communities had migrated down to Africa East Coast over millennia as a part of the Bantu migration. As the nation began to develop, the rulership of Shaka brought the clans together to build the cohesive identity of Zulu. He put all people together in the clans to build a very cohesive of the identity of the Zulu nation. Now let's get to the strengths of the Zulu nation. The Zulu nation growth in strength was based on the militia organization and the skills during the Shaka reign and that of his successors. The military was organized around ukubutwa, means to be enrolled system. We did away with initiation ceremony for the most part. Each age set or group of young men of the same age was assigned to the same regiment. Ubuto singular, but in plural you call amabuto plural. According to the system, also girls were also subjects to ukubutwa, but they were usually assigned to an age group rather than regiment. The amabuto were housed in the military barracks, ikanda in singular, amakanda plural, which were located throughout the kingdom and under command of close relative or someone appointed by the king. And the barracks were designed and laid out similar to an umuzi, but on a much larger scale. Aside from militia dudes, the izinsinzwa, means young men, were also responsible for repair and maintenance of the barracks. Now let's get to the kingdom of Shaka, to the kingdom in general of the Zulu. The Zulu formed a powerful state in 1816 under the leader Shaka. So Shaka is a Zulu commander of the Mthethwa Empire and a successor to Dingiswayo, united what was once confederation of the tribes into imposing empire under the Zulu hegemon. Shaka built a militarized system known as MP, featuring conscriptions, a standing army, a new weapon, regimentation, and the encirclement battle tactics. Zulu expansion was major factor of tiene, means crushing, that depopulated a large area of South Africa. Is during that period when Shaka deployed an army regiments of raiding tribe on the north. The regiments, which was under Mzilikazi, disobeyed Shaka and crafted plan to continue raiding up north, forming another dialect of Zulu language referring to the northern Ndebele, now is Zimbabwe. Now let's check a conflicts with the British. In the mid-December 1878, envoys of the British Crown delivered an ultimatum to 11 chiefs. So now, if you check in December 1878, envoys of the British Crown delivered an ultimatum to 11 chiefs representing then current king of the Zulu Empire. Under the British terms delivered to Zulu, would be required to disband his army and accept the British sovereign. Refused, and a war between Zulu and African contingents of the British Crown began on January 12 in 1879. Despite an early victory of the Zulu at the Battle of Umhlanga of 22nd January, the British fought back and won the battle at the Rocks Drift, and decisively defeated the Zulu army by July at the Battle of Ulundi. But that's not the end. Now let's go back to how Zulu won again. Now, absorption in the Natal. After Petreon capture a month following his defeat, the British divided the Zulu Empire into 13 kinglets. The sub-kingdom fought among each other, so that is called division Kongwa. See, they started to fight among each other until 1883 when Petreon was reinstated as a king of Zululand. This did not stop the fighting, and the Zulu monarch was forced to flee his realm by Zibebu, one of the 13 kinglets supported by Boer missionaries. Petreon died. Now, Petreon ended up dying in 1884 February, killed by Zibebu regimes, leaving his son, who was 15 years old, Dimuzulu, to inherit the throne. In fighting between the Zulu continued for years until 1897. The Zululand was absorbed full by British colony. Now, let's get to apartheid years, and we can check also the Zulu performing traditional warrior dance. Now, under the apartheid, the homeland of KwaZulu, which were created by the Zulu people, in 1970, the Bantu Homeland Citizenship Act provided that all the Zulu will become the citizens of the KwaZulu, losing their South African citizenship. KwaZulu consisted of many disconnected pieces of land in what now called KwaZulu Natal. So hundreds of southern Zulu people living in privately owned barrack spots outside the KwaZulu Natal were dispossessed and forcibly moved to Bantustan, which were the worst land previously reserved for whites contiguous to exist in the area of Zululand. By 1993, approximately 5.2 million Zulu people lived in KwaZulu, and approximately 2 million lived in the rest of South Africa. The chief minister of KwaZulu from its creation in 1970 as a Zululand was the chief Mangosuthu Buthelezi. In 1994, KwaZulu was joined with the province of Natal to form modern KwaZulu Natal. Inkatha yesizwe. Okay, so these are the freedom parts. Now let's get to it. In virginity and a restrained sexual relationship. See, so the beadwork is a prominent attire that are worn at the Umhlanga. The beadwork is not only worn by the dancer but by the gays as well. The Umhlanga is very pure for the time of dance. The king also uses his time to speak to the young men and young women. The king discusses the political issue somehow. See, so also, before we go further, I want to touch a little of the royal Zulu land prior to colonial Zululand. See, so in historical, the royal